Welcome to 2021, where even the good stuff is junk. We've had a run on bad parts, lots of bad parts. And it's not just us. Research, right? Bad cams, bad ignitions, bad everything. So, if you remember back last year, we had a problem with rubbing blocks on points, where the rubbing blocks would wear away after about 2,500, 3,000 miles. And somebody turned us on to buying these Eklund points, and the Eklund points have a better rubbing block, and they don't wear. So we switched over all of our cars to the Eklund points. That fixed the rubbing block problem. But now to tell this part of the story, we have to go back a year ago. So I have a friend of mine, Devin. He's got a 71 Challenger. Beautiful restoration, the green car. You've seen it if you watch this channel. So he calls me up last year and he says, car's dead in my driveway, it won't start. So I run over there and go over everything. So what it is, it's a 3.3 based stroker motor that externally looks exactly stock. So it's got it's got the stock exhaust manifolds, intake manifold, right? You open it up and you don't see it. But they did convert it to electronic ignition. They put an electronic ignition distributor in it, and they hid the control box and everything underneath the dashboard so it wouldn't look out of place. Normal thing to do. So after going through his system, I find that the pickup is bad in the distributor. The distributor is brand new, right? I mean, like, it hasn't even had a chance to get dusty yet. And Devin doesn't hardly ever use this car. He only uses it to run to shows and the occasional, around the area. He puts maybe 500 miles a year on this thing. So to expedite matters and to simplify matters, we decided, well, let's just put a set of points on the car. Let's just put a point distributor in it and call it a day. So he goes and he buys a rebuilt point distributor. Look everything over, gap the points, lube the points, drop it in. Car starts, runs, perfect. Done. We move on. So about a week ago, he calls me up and he says, car's running like hell. He says, it won't go uphill. I can't go over 40 miles an hour with it. It runs good at idle, low speed, but as soon as you push it, it's a mess. So I said, bring it over. So he brings it over, and I look everything over. And everything is as it should be. I got a blue spark out of the coil. I've got the ballast resistor is right. I check everything over, and it's all fine. So I'll start the car up. And at idle, it's fine. You give it some gas under a load, and it starts missing and bucking and backfiring. So I throw the dwell meter on it, and the dwell meter is bouncing all over the place. I'm like, what, bad bushing, the distributor? What happened here? So pop the cap off, and I look everything over, and at a glance, everything looks fine. And then I look at the points. I bump the motor over to get to the high point of the lobe, and I look at the points. This is crazy. Okay, so come in here close. Let me put my glasses on. So at a glance, you can see these points are like brand new, right? No marks on them or anything. And at a glance, they look fine. There's one contact, there's the other contact. But watch when I open them. Both contacts are stuck to the one side. There's no contact on the point arm. Right? Here's the way it's supposed to look. Okay? See? So here's contact and here's contact. Right? But here you can see the parting line between the two contacts right there. But when you open it up, both contacts are on one side. They're welded together. What the hell could have caused that, right? So now, I've been doing this literally since the 70s. I have seen everything you could ever see concerning ignition system problems and things like that. And I have seen where the contacts will weld each other together. But there's always a telltale bluing, right? Now here are the things that could make this happen under normal circumstances. A bad voltage regulator that causes it to overcharge. So you'll get 16, 17, 18 volts, and it'll overheat the points, and they'll do that. Somebody sitting in the car with the ignition on, like let's say listening to the radio. If the points are closed or they're just barely making contact with each other, they'll get hot enough to do that. Seen that happen too. Running without a ballast resistor, that'll do it too. Putting a heavier resistance coil in, like for instance putting a super coil in without adding a separate ballast resistor, that'll do it too. But in every one of those cases, when you see this happen, this arm right here will turn blue from heat. And then you can see in this case, there's no bluing. It's exactly, it looks like it just came out of the box. So what could have caused this? I don't have a clue. I went through everything. I double checked and triple checked every electrical part, anything that would interface with the ignition system. The coil was good. The polarity isn't reversed. Somebody's going to say the polarity is reversed. No, polarity was fine. Ballast resistor was fine. Charging system, 13.8 volts. Everything checked exactly the way it should. I thought maybe a weirdness in the condenser, so I left the condenser alone. I put another set of points on the car, gapped it, fine, perfect. And I haven't heard from him since, so I guess it's still running good. But I mean, there's the example of like, and this is now remember, we were having problems with the rubbing blocks on the cheaper point sets that we were getting through the regular auto parts store. And a lot of you guys suggested go get the Eklund points, and the Eklund points have a separate rubbing block. And these are a set of those Eklund points. And I've converted all of my cars to this set of points, this style points, and haven't had a single issue as far as rubbing block issues. But this, you know, I don't know, right? What could have caused that? His car's running. I haven't heard from him yet, so I guess we got the problem solved. But now we're going to have you guys, I can see it already in the comments, you know, why don't you convert it to this? Why don't you use a Protronics? Why don't you put an MSD in it? Why don't you? If you spend 5 minutes to bother and research, you'll see that this problem, this type of problem, electrical components breaking down and being bad out of the box, is an epidemic. It applies across the board. I mean, the Protronics thing is a perfect example. And I'm not saying anything bad about Protronics, but I've had two of these things where this section of it burned through. Okay? And what would happen was the spark would arc off into the hole there and ground out. Two of them with exactly the same problem. This one is fine. There's nothing wrong with this one. As far as the HEI conversions go, unless it's a whole distributor, I had one guy, I built a supercharged Slant 6 about 4 years ago before we started doing this channel. And in the interim, from the time I finished it to the time we started doing this, he converted to an HEI system on it. And it vaporized the strap on the rotor and caused the motor to detonate itself to death. When I got to look at this thing, I popped the cap off, and all of this was completely fizzed back. Everything is junk. Everything is suspect. There's people, you talk about the regular MSD, you know, distributors are ready to run, drop in. Like I said, do your research. There's countless examples of them being bad out of the box or bad 500 miles down the road, and you know, it just leaves you stranded. What do? You know, a lot of guys said when we did the video about the rubbing blocks, a lot of guys, and suggested these Eklund points, a lot of you guys said NOS. The only way to do it is to buy NOS. And honestly, truthfully, that's what it's looking like to me now. There is no guarantee of reliability, regardless of where you buy these things or what brand name is on it, or there's no guarantee that any of this stuff is going to function for anything more than just, you know, getting it down the street a time or two. And like these points are the perfect example of that. You know, I don't know what caused that, but it happened, and there it is. You pays your money and it takes your chances, right? So, car's running good. We'll see what happens. And yeah, beware, buyer beware. I'll see you tomorrow.